Good morning, Gwen. Whenever you are ready to start at 9 o'clock, we're ready on this end.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We need a few more people, but we got a few more minutes. So
All right, sounds great.
thank you.
No problem. Say, Gwen, Heather was in the waiting room, but I was able to finally promote her to panelist, so I think we're good.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, it is 9 o'clock and I believe we have a quorum. So I'm going to just go through some of the initial information and then we'll take roll call because I think people are still trickling in. So I will call to order the Administration and Finance meeting for committee for the City of Missoula. And the date is October 13th, 2021. We're still having virtual meetings. If you want to attend to provide public comment, you can join the virtual meeting by going to the city website, to the meetings and agenda page and finding the committee meeting for this event and clicking on the link. You can also provide us a voicemail. The phone number is 552-6012, and you can also email us. Our email address is council@ci.missoula.mt.us. And Lisa, if you could do a roll call vote, that would be great. I'm sorry, not a vote, attendance. I always say that every morning.
No problem.
I'm the first one out of the chute and I'm still waking up. All right,
It's
there you
early.
go.
Give yourself some credit here. Okay, Stacy Anderson. So she's not here. Let's see here. Mirta Becerra.
Present.
John Contos.
Here.
Heather Harp,
Here.
Jordan Hess,
Here.
Gwen Jones,
Present.
Julie Merritt,
Present.
Jesse Ramos. He's absent. Amber Sherrill,
Present.
Sandra Vasika, appears to be absent. Brian Von Lussberg,
Here.
Heidi West. All right, so it looks like we have 8 people present and 4 people absent.
Great, thank you. So we have a quorum, and thanks everyone for coming this early Wednesday morning for a brief meeting, but it is very important. Lee Griffin is here to bring us up to date on the radio and communications equipment status and what we need to do today. So good morning, Lee.
Hi, thank you. So today I'm bringing a resolution. It looks a little different than the normal resolutions we bring to council for financing and reimbursement resolutions, but this is the form requested by Motorola, which is the company that we are purchasing just under $2 million of public safety radio equipment. I believe that came to council a few weeks ago. And this was also within our FY22 capital improvement or community investment program, CIP. Motorola has offered us financing at 5 years and 0%, which will be paid out of the road district beginning in fiscal year 23. So we actually have a full year with the equipment before we need to enter into this. So the resolution I'm bringing to council today does in fact sort of combine a reimbursement resolution and a financing resolution. And we have some of the draft documents on the financing up for folks. There's a lot of detail in there that's still sort of being worked out between Motorola and our bond attorney. But these are things like make sure you put in the name of MMIA for insurance. So not substantive changes, just to let folks understand that. So I'm asking council to approve this resolution for determination of need for acquiring the public safety radio equipment. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Or Dale, do you want to speak also? Go ahead, Dale.
Just a quick comment. I just wanted to follow up a little bit on the funding related to paying for these lease payments. Road District is what we've identified as our local source to be able to look at these. We are going to be seeking grant opportunities to help pay for this as we look at not only replacing the radios, but also the upgrades to the communications infrastructure in partnership with the county. So I think this gives us, what this also does is it gives us the opportunity to seek those other funding sources and potentially get some help paying for this.
Thank you, and let the record reflect that Heidi West is now in attendance. And just to briefly note before we go to questions from council, basically the communication system between sheriffs and Missoula PD and 911, all of this is not going to work in the future as communications and technology has changed. So we're basically having to replace and update this entire system, which is painful, but absolutely necessary. And is that an accurate characterization, Lee or Dale? Or I see Scott Hoffman is also on if we have questions for police. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. We need to, it's time to upgrade not only the radios that we have. We actually, with the way the city is developing, we need to essentially go to, I'm going to say this like I'm an expert in radio communications, which I'm not, but we need to actually change our frequencies. Most urbanizing areas are heading towards this 800 megahertz frequencies that have a bit more ability to penetrate buildings and those things where our officers need to stay in communications, with dispatch and their team. So it is an officer safety issue that we are trying to solve for here.
Great, thanks. Okay, and I will, before we go to questions, I'll note I inadvertently did not call for public comment on items not on the record, so we'll do that at the end of the meeting. And okay, going to raised hands, we have Julie Merritt.
Thanks. I just want to clarify what Lee said and maybe I guess reiterate it for the record. What I heard Lee say is that this is a 0% financing that we've been offered for this major investment. And I see Lee nodding her head yes. So I just want to make that clear. There's been a lot of discussion about the city being in a lot of debt. This is really just allowing us to make this very important upgrade to our system so that our community is safe and that our first responders can communicate with each other without any hiccups. I can tell you, we don't want hiccups when our first responders are trying to keep our community safe. So I'm in support of this. Thanks.
Thank you, Julie. Heather. You're muted, Heather.
Sorry, I put my hand down instead. Good morning, everyone. Assistant Chief Hoffman, I was wondering if you could just chime in just a little bit here, if you would, to explain to us, because I know we've had some public comments about how unnecessary this upgrade is. And I'm wondering if you could speak from your point of view as one of our most important emergency personnel that we have, and just put it on the line for us, please.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you. Dale touched on it a little bit. In the 29 years I've been here, there's been very little changes. We did acquire a new tower for the ability to reach the entire city, but we still have what we call like black spots where we cannot communicate with 911 or other officers. And the first step is the radios that the officers have, changing to 800 megahertz. As it's been explained to me, the ground floor, there's so much air noise that 800 megahertz will help us reach a level where we're able to communicate better with each other in 911. But that is just one step. As Dale mentioned, we also need to work on the towers and update all of those to help with the infrastructure there. But it is, we're in a dire spot right now. Brick buildings, we can't penetrate those. And then with all the floor noise or ground noise that they call it, we could have two officers standing next to each other and they can't communicate by radio because of all that noise. So this 800 megahertz makes it possible to do that. I'm sure there'll be future upgrades, but for now, this is the first step in fixing the communication problems, not only with police, sheriff's department, but also with the fire department as well. They use a different kind of communication system where their portables go through their vehicles, which helps boost the power, but they still suffer from the same floor noise that we all do. And this is going to help with that. And it's very important that officers can communicate with each other and also 911. So if there's any other questions I can answer, I'd be happy to.
Appreciate that very much, Scott. Gwen, I'm happy to put the motion on the floor.
Great, thank you so much. And let the record reflect that Stacy Anderson has joined the meeting. Are there any other questions from council? Seeing none, we'll go for public comment on the motion. I'm looking for any raised hands from the attendees, but I'm not seeing any. So we will have any other comments or questions from council before we do a vote on this matter. All right, thank you. We will go ahead and have a roll call vote.
Stacy Anderson.
Yes.
Mirta Becerra,
Yes.
John Contos,
Yes.
Heather Harp.
Yes.
Jordan Hess,
Yes.
Gwen Jones,
Yes.
Julie Merritt,
Yes.
Amber Sherrill,
Yes.
Brian Von Lossberg,
Yes.
Heidi West.
Yes.
So that is unanimous for all in attendance.
Thank you. That can go into the consent agenda. And Lee, my understanding, it was just the one item today in the agenda. That's correct?
Yes, I had sort of jumped the gun and put on a reimbursement resolution, but found out from bond counsel that this current resolution covers both.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And just for housekeeping, I will call for public comment on items not on the agenda. Is there anyone that wanted to comment? I'm looking in the attendees to see if there are any raised hands. I don't see any.
And
So that
when-
concludes our,
excuse me,
agenda for
did you
this
want to do
evening?
minutes approval from last week's minutes?
yes, thank you. What am I didn't get enough caffeine in the, yes, we have minutes from October 6th, 2021. Were there any changes to the minutes? Seeing none, those will stand approved. I think I've done everything now, and excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks for everyone for coming in for a short meeting today, and enjoy the rest of your week. And we will stand adjourned. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.